Friend, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. It's my custom not to give a message on the nights of congregational meetings, but I'm going to give a message anyway. And it's very brief, but it's something I think is important. Tonight was supposed to be my last Shabbat here at the New Reform Temple, and that is not the case, obviously. And I will be remaining here until June 30th, 2025. So let's get the Onik Shabbat prepared for now. I want something decent that night. So, and as I've always said, and I'm going to keep saying it until I don't have a chance to say it anymore, it's really a privilege and responsibility that I take very seriously to be the rabbi of the New Reform Temple. And I don't want to mess things up. I don't. And the synagogues are fragile, and we need to take good care of them. It's impossible to describe our congregation. It is filled with so many glorious contradictions that I can't keep up with them. It's very hard for me to explain to others who we are without they are coming and just experiencing who we are. Some people think that we are the same synagogue that they were in 1967, and that is impossible, and that would be dangerous. If you do not evolve, you die. That's the fact. We use the Union Prayer Book, but our services are quite traditional and contemporary. We have deep roots in our community, but we are welcoming, especially to people who have chosen to be Jews as adults. We don't wear kippot, head covering, but some of us do. We allow people to pray the way they want because we want people to be true to themselves. And we are a mishmash of people who are liberals, who are conservatives, traditionalists and modernists, believers and non-believers, kosher salami eaters and Kansas City barbecue aficionados, and tofu connoisseurs. We live in peace. And I am sure that we have within our midst people who root for sports teams other than the Chiefs and the Royals. We do. We speak to each other and do not shout at each other. And it's hard to articulate who we are. Again, you have to experience it. And we are, and I hate to use words like this because it shows you them. I'm trying to be with it and I'm not. We are chill, okay?
That's fire.
That's amazing that I even was able to do that, wasn't it? I had to really think about that, okay? Now, I do have a fear. That is that we will lose our specialness. That somehow we will become something else. So I decided to articulate that which has not been articulated before, my understanding of what the rules are. There is in the Siddur, on page 118, you don't have to open up, it's the beginning of in fact, in the morning, the first thing you're supposed to say is Ma tovu ha'olech Yaakov, which is, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling place, O Israel. That Rashi, the 11th century French commentator, tells us that the tents of our people were seen to be good because, in accordance with Jewish law, the tents did not have their openings and windows directly opening to each other. There was space and sensitivity. No one could look into each other's house. There was a sense of respect for each other. And that is who we are. We are a warm, non-judgmental community that brings people together and insists that we respect each other. We interact with each other with chesed, with loving kindness. I believe that periodically we need to state explicitly what are the mutual expectations and ideals of our synagogue. What kind of synagogue do we need to be? As I look at the world, I often feel that we do ourselves a disservice by not setting boundaries and standards. Winging it doesn't always work. Our aim is to create a synagogue which is an instrument for us to pursue our highest Jewish values. We seek knowledge, we seek charity, and we seek piety. We want our synagogue to be a source of encouragement for human growth and of comfort and inspiration to all individuals. We want a congregation of interested, active members, personally committed to our synagogue, accepting the responsibilities of membership as a challenge to seek the best in each of us. And yes, we seek something from our members, because Judaism is a serious undertaking and we are serious people. We regard our membership as a high privilege, and we will not be content with a synagogue which is less than a vehicle for what is most noble and true in Judaism. Our vision is to welcome anyone and everyone that wishes to engage with the synagogue in a positive way. That requires us all to make every effort to be warm and welcoming community, engaging with each other, friends and visitors in an inclusive way. And we do not achieve it by announcing it, we achieve it by doing it. And we ask all those visiting our synagogue to conduct themselves in a similar positive manner. Disrespect, rudeness, arrogance, self-righteousness, condescension, hostility, unpleasantness are not something we want here. That is not our brand. And if that is what people seek, they are in the wrong place. As a practical guide to fulfilling our principles and commitment, we ask everyone who visits our building and participates in our religious services and other activities to do the following. To follow the teaching of Rabbi Hillel, do not do unto others that which is hateful to you. To uphold Jewish values such as fairness, respectful engagement, mutual respect, and sensitivity. To respect the rights and dignity and worth of everyone involved in synagogue life, equally without regard to age, gender, disability, race, ethnic origin, nationality, color, parental or marital status, class or social background, sexual preference, or religious or political belief. Not to condone or allow to go unchallenged any form of discrimination. Not to threaten or bully, and to express oneself in a way that does not impinge on the freedom of others and respect their privacy. To ensure that disagreements relate only to principles and priorities and not personalities. To behave appropriately and use appropriate forms of speech at all times, avoiding sexual innuendo or inappropriate physical contact and gestures. To respect each other's and the synagogue's property. These are the expectations. We pray that they will never be violated, but they must be affirmed. We cannot take anything for granted in the synagogue. We don't want to mess anything up. I really mean that. A synagogue is precious. We never want to mess anything up. We have to take ourselves seriously, take each other seriously, and take the notion that this is a holy place. And we all are the troops to make this a holy place. We are a sacred community, a holy community. But it doesn't happen by just saying it. We need to walk the talk. We need to work hard at preserving the community. We need to hold each other accountable. And that is what serious, thoughtful, and enlightened Jews do. It's a blessing to be here another year and to continue to nurture the unique spirit of our community. And thank you for your continued trust in me as the rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.